Hi, my name is Liam, and I'm trying to make a video game. Making a game has been a dream of mine ever since I was sucked into Jumanji in 1969. Now I have a beard and I look like Robin Williams, and I still don't have anything that people might want to play. I've been working on a project heretofore called MageLight. It's been a while since I posted an update, and honestly, that's because MageLight went through a bit of an identity crisis. At this point, MageLight is a completely different game than what I had originally started with. But that's okay. Games don't just pop fully formed out of your head. I've taken a lot of time to experiment and figure out what fits best with my vision. I'm still early in development, so I'm sure some of this will change, but broadly speaking, I think I figured out what I want this game to be. MageLight is a spellcasting RPG where you borrow magic from a demon in order to try and save your hometown. The more magic that you borrow, the more powerful you'll become, and you'll need to help as many people as you can before your debt comes due. As much as I love making these crappy pixel art animations, it's just taking too long to make progress on the game and to make these videos, so I'm going to switch up the format to see if I can get you guys some progress a little bit sooner. So I'm sorry, you're going to have to look at my face. Here's 1 week of development on MageLight, where I was working on the game every day. So I have pivoted away from puzzles as being the main mechanic, and I've moved it back into combat. So this is still really early, but here's your little character moving around in the dark. You can pick up these little pieces of light, and it increases the brightness. There are characters that you can talk to. And there are a few enemies to fight. The combat is still super early, and the enemies are really gross looking. They're just like beetles, I think. Anyway, but you can zap them, or if you press and hold, you can charge up a big electric attack. So there is this main heart that's up here, and these 2 drops. Just for debug purposes, I have a key to add a half of a drop, and then a key to take away a half of a drop. So the plan is to do the same thing, and if I actually start the game, you can see that the health is being set to the players up here. And then there's also this little bit that's hanging down. Right now that's just a picture. That's what I'm going to be doing today, is I'm going to make it so that this will grow longer to match the player's maximum health, and that each of these little balls will fill up with light to match how much light the player has. So I'm going to go ahead and just work on that, and I will get back to you guys when that's done. This is my wife's mug, but I thought it was so cool I wanted to drink out of it in the video. Happy Halloween. Okay, let's get back into this. Oh, my battery ran out. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so my camera died, but I'm going to show you what I have working so far. So I have the light bar, which is getting set to the light amount, which is 425. So 1, 2, 3, 400, and then 25 right here. I can subtract the light, and as you can see, they empty top to bottom and then fill back up, and it goes to the next orb. Okay, so I just showed this to Rachel, and she thinks it's a little confusing the way that this fills bottom to top, but then the maximum is added on the bottom. So tell me in the comments if this looks weird, the way that this goes down and goes back up. But I'm gonna stick with this one for now. Makes sense to me, but if it's confusing or looks weird, then I'll change it. Alright, it is Tuesday, so I've adjusted it so that it fills linearly from bottom to top. I've also hooked it up to the player, so you can see it in action here in the top left corner. Flashes gently and fills up, starting with the bottom orb and then filling up towards the heart. So I think that's going to make it a little bit easier to tell exactly where your maximum is and how much you have, just at a glance. When you open up your pause menu or you open up your inventory, I also am going to have some kind of a label pop out showing like the exact amount of light you have. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this right now, and then we can move on. I'm back. Yep. Uh-huh. Okay, that looks good. Let's put it in. Don't tell my mom. Closed. It is way too hot for a sweatshirt right now. Ah! Whew. Okay. Okay, so now no menu right here showing you the total, and then it still doesn't work. Okay, so you can't see the maximum in the top left corner until you open up the menu, and then it shows you 30 out of 500. And then it disappears again. Okay, so we've got the light bar filling up the way that we want. And when you open up the menu, it shows the label with the maximum. I think what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line that will outline the player's light whenever it changes. I'm going to go ahead and start that now, and we'll see how far I get. Good morning. It is far too early on Wednesday, and I have a little bit of time before I've got meetings all morning for my job. So I quickly wanted to show what I got done yesterday in the evening. So this is just a test area that has a light in it. It's really dim. You can probably hardly see it. And as the amount changes, I'm dynamically creating a line that wraps around it. So still a lot to do, but I think this is a good start. But first, let's update the draw order and get the colors looking a little bit nicer, and then we'll get it wrapping around the player. Know that there's been a change when it flashes, but I also need it to flash red when it's a negative value. Let's do that next. Okay, adding light is white, subtracting light is red. So right now I have a shock spell which like basically just sparks the area in front of you, and if you press and hold it down and then release it after a certain amount of time, it's like a big area around you. But I think I'm just going to make those two different spells. I don't want the player to have to worry about charging up and holding down spells, at least not right now. Plus I need a lot of spells, and it would be nice to be able to split those and get 2 for 1. So I am gonna do that then. Hey, whatever it is I said I was gonna do, I didn't do that. I spent the evening learning traditional carpentry techniques, and now I'm gonna go to bed. The The following is a 2.5-hour clip where I forgot to turn on my microphone. So I think the main problem that I was having was that I kind of just ran out of things that I was planning on doing this week. So I spent a good chunk of time just in Notion organizing tasks and creating things that I wanted to do, just getting myself organized again. And then I needed to do some kind of boring but important code refactoring things. So I had a couple of systems, like the systems for triggering actions and spells. Like that was pretty old and it needed to be redone. So the next thing that I wanted to do today was get rid of the old button menu and replace it with my new button menu, which has the 6 keys ASD and then ZXC. I'm replacing that bottom button, which was supposed to be a context-specific button. You'll still have a context-specific button, but instead of having it show in the top right of the screen, it'll just have a label pop up over stuff when you can interact with it. My flippin' microphone was off. Okay, it is the evening now, and I'm just gonna show you what I worked on during the day. So we have the action buttons up here in the top right corner. They're laid out differently than they were previously. They are mapped to the top A, S, D, and then these three are Z, X, and C. And as you can see, when I press the linked button, they press in. You can cast the spell, so the spell I have here is Shock. Yeah, that's basically what I got done. Was these buttons basically remade all of this, and it's a much better, more robust system. So just to recap really quickly what we got done this week, we had the health bar. You can extend the maximum and your health can go down, and it's got pretty animations. Same with the light bar. Maximum can go up and down, and it fills in from the bottom up. We got this nice outline around the player's visibility, so it goes red when you're losing light, and it glows white, and then it goes yellow and stays there when you're at your full maximum. And then, of course, we've got the buttons, which I just talked about. So all in all, we did some really great progress this week, and I'm really excited to keep working. I'm going to be focusing on getting combat working, not so much AI for the enemies quite yet, but getting all of the different, or at least one of each different kind of spell that I want the player to be able to use. Next devlog is going to be mainly just making new spells, which will be very exciting. Okay, subscribe, send this video to your friends, send it to your grandma, the video's over now. Go away.